Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and yes, this team is an absolute beast for the meta of Great League. We're gonna use Gligar, which is the biggest winner of the entire Great League move update, to be honest, and we're gonna use it up in front. So at the back, we're gonna be filling up our backline with both Registeel and Umbreon, so you can see as to how you can play this team as an ABB team weak to Medicham. So you have to aggressively go in there with your Registeel, draw out the Medicham so that Umbreon most likely will have no other counter at the back. So what I like about this team is that both Registeel and Gligar can go pretty well even against the Charmers because of how spammy Gligar can be, but of course with Registeel you already know that the Steel typing will help a lot, so that Umbreon can even handle those threats in the end. So definitely a notable team for a lot of trainers out there, and I think that if you have the correct Pokemon right now, it's not that easy to get Gligar, but if you have one, this team can absolutely help you out. So Shadow Gligar can do more work, I believe, with this team because the backline is very bulky, so you can definitely count on that to tank those hits for you and eventually return to the battle with Gligar and you're gonna be just fine. Over here, the Double Dig though will be more than enough to finish off Toxapex, which is an interesting pick to be honest, especially with the absence of the most relevant ground type Pokemon. So over here we're just gonna block whatever they throw. We managed to block the Sludge Wave, and yeah, as it seems, all we need to do here is to go for a foul play and right after for the finishing blow with Last Resort. They know that, we know that, and that is gonna be the end of this Swampert and this trainer to start off the video. Into the next one now, and we're having up in front the Carbink. So yeah, this is obviously kind of a very good one for us. We can take neutral damage even though we're flyers from those rock throws, while to be honest I think that Dig is gonna do more than half on this Pokemon, meaning that 2 Digs can absolutely shred apart the Carbink. But first we need to respect the damage from the Moonblast, and that's why Carbink is an absolute beast, can tank the hits fairly easy and still answer back at you with a heavy hitting Moonblast, which is absolutely crazy even for a fighter which manages to not beat down a rock type Pokemon. So over here we want to go ahead and pressure a lot for those shields that we can use so that we can try and catch eventually one move on our Umbreon. We know now that even if they have the fighter we might have the upper hand, but now they want to respond with the switch out to the return of the Carbink. Carbink over here is gonna dominate this matchup, but to be honest they're getting super low and perhaps we can snipe them down if we are kinda careful. Their Last Resort here will most likely guarantee the knockout against the Carbink, and they are gonna let that go through. So over here at the back they're gonna have Trevenant, and this is a mistake that they did. I don't know if they did it on purpose or they just want to preserve the HP, the little amount of HP that they had on Medicham, but we still managed to catch one Seed Bomb on the Registeel, which was a tricky catch but still absolutely understandable at this point. They had so much energy to spare, and on the plus side we had some energy as well, so they had to throw before we reach to the next foul play. That's why I was able to catch them. So over here we're gonna go down to the Shadow Claw farm down, but still we can go in with our Umbreon I believe at this point and still try to make them throw their energy. Instead though they're gonna stay in and foul play, we will hit them with the lethal damage, and right after we have one Aerial Ace ready to go, which most likely knock out Medicham from this amount of HP. Into the next one now with a Medicham up in front. Not the best lead to be honest, because these ice pumps can always hurt while they can still tank one Aerial Ace, but definitely Gligar can manage this threat with shields when shields are in play. So Pelipper right here will come into the battle. This is obviously kind of a very bad one for us, and we will try to catch one Weather Ball on our Umbreon, but instead our opponent knows better and Hurricane will do massive damage to our Pokemon. So over here I have a feeling that we can safely farm down when we can also go ahead and tank the next move, which is pretty great. And now that we know that they have a Pokemon like this Medicham, all we have to do is to reach to the foul play to drop them at a point that one Aerial Ace might just do the trick. Doesn't matter that we cannot reach to the next foul play, we can still press for that shield scenario with this Aerial Ace, and as it seems they will go ahead and shield because they definitely want my Gligar as it seems out of play. Seeing seeing that Pelipper as a safe switch makes me think that whatever there's at the back might be kinda weak to my Registeel. So we were right, trainer. So this is an ABP team with Pelipper as a safe switch and double flying at the back in total. So foul plays can easily be taken. While this Zap Cannon will absolutely shred apart this weird corpse bird Pokemon, corpse-eating bird Pokemon, I think that's the correct term, and of course right after we can still press for that knockout with our Fox Blast or the next Zap Cannon. I think they still have the shield, but to be honest I'm not sure if they are gonna block here. Perhaps they want to preserve it for Medicham, but still we can stand on the higher ground because we have a double aerial ace ready to go, and most likely one will grab the shield and one more the knockout. So yeah, Medicham is already out of the way. We can absolutely guarantee here the knockout, and that's gonna be an amazing victory for our team. Into the next one against Alter Ego, and yeah, Poliwrath up in front. This is not looking that great because one simple Scald can absolutely destroy us down, but they want to catch one aerial ace on that Mach. Of course we know better, and instead we're gonna throw Dig. So over here I have a feeling this is not even a Dark Pulse, so I'm just gonna let that go through, and it ends up being a Thunder Punch. I don't know what they were thinking, but still we can go in now with our Metal Trash Can, and this Pokemon will definitely use the heavy metal that it has towards our advantage. So over here I have a feeling this is gonna be another Thunder Punch. Just gonna let that go through. Even if it was a Dark Pulse, there was no need at all to block or anything, and we can answer back at them with a Zap Cannon. This will definitely take them out from this range, and now Shadow Poliwrath will return into the battle, getting pretty early to the Power Up Punch, and not sure if that was intended or a mistake, but anyways they have at the back their Lula Sunslash, and of course we can be kinda victorious here with a double Dig. Instead though I want to bring into the battle my Umbreon because I want to avoid the matchup with Poliwrath, because no matter what this Poliwrath can absolutely shred me apart if I'm not careful, even when shields are up. So over here we're just gonna get hit by the move. As always I don't care at all. We can still go ahead and press for that second shield scenario. Actually they have no shield, so those foul plays will be unregistered for their shields, and yeah, absolutely straight on their HP levels. So here comes another move, and at this point I'm just gonna let that go through because I have a lot of energy to spare from my Gligar. But to be honest I thought that we had more energy, so that ends up in a very close victory for us. Even though we had the upper hand, we decided not to block against Umbreon, and yeah, that was pretty close overall. Let's leave it as it is. So anyways, into the next one now, and we're having the Medicham up in front. Once again we need to avoid those ice punches, and they seem to not want to stay in there, so we're just gonna see the switch out to their own Gligar, and to be honest Umbreon can definitely handle this threat. So Umbreon is definitely one all-time classic Pokemon for the meta. I really like how able it is in order to get to those moves, especially now that with those fairy types not being that much of a thing, you have almost nothing to be afraid of. Even against a Medicham, I think we have another battle with Medicham later on, you're gonna see that Umbreon is just gonna go ahead and spam its way to victory, because look at that, down goes Medicham in a single snipe attack version of my Gligar, and of course right after we're gonna see that we need to respect the damage from those aerial aces from the opposing Gligar. So back to back aerial aces coming from my side, but first they have to win the CMP, which is a bummer since we're already having a high attack stat on our Gligar, and for some reason they have even higher. Perhaps that's a Hando. It is definitely a Shiny, so why not a Hando and a Sando in total as well. So yeah, at the back they have the Registeel. Obviously we will try to catch one move on the Umbreon, and by not revealing at all our Registeel we will be able to grab this victory for our team, since Gligar here with the Dig can definitely handle that Registeel threat. Into the next one now, and we're having up in front the Stunfisk. Okay, see, this is looking pretty good for us. We're just gonna stay in. Of course, we can survive those rock slides, but if they want to block, perhaps I will block as well, because if they want to stay in here all the way, they might be kinda weak to my Gligar at the back. So they're throwing while they are on +1 on Mudshot, I believe over here. Did I count correctly as I'm commentating on this battle? I think so. So we need to be extremely careful because right after they need 4 since they had 6 mud shots stored up before, in a total of 10 for the double rock slide. But anyways, they have already spent double shields here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my remaining digs on that Pokemon. I'm pretty sure they were gonna throw right after, so I will try to catch the move on the Umbreon, and now we're gonna see the Medicham coming out of nowhere. You know what? This is looking pretty promising for us. We're lagging a lot, of course, because Niantic is a thing in Pokemon Go, and right after we have another pair of those foul plays to throw on this Medicham. Look at how easy it is for us to get the victory against the Medi with our Umbreon, which is impressive without even spending a shield. Noctowl at the back. Noctowl is no good at this meta, and Noctowl will just forfeit the battle because Noctowl stands no chance against our Metal Trash Can. Into the final one now with a Medicham up in front. What a surprise, trainers! And we're gonna see that Aerial Ace is our main way to go against this Pokemon. So we need to respect the damage from those Ice Punches once again, and of course we need to respond with our Aerial Aces. Of course they're always gonna throw at their 6th counter, which means that we have time to charge up to an Aerial Ace and even more, which is absolutely amazing for us. At the back now they have a Registeel, and this means that this dig now will most likely do a lot of solid work on their HP levels, already below 50%, and right after I will bring my own Regi because I know that I can get to my next Fox Blast before they get to a double, and this is looking very good for us. Just gonna go for the nice here in a weird scenario that they can throw their energy and then I will not go ahead and get farmed down, but instead they're just gonna go down, and of course right after this Medicham will farm me in the process. So this amount of HP that they have, my Umbreon can definitely handle this Medicham, and at the back they have a Diggersby. So this team ended up gaining for me a lot of elo, and those Diggersbys were not around that much because it is a really troublesome Pokemon for my team, but still we can handle this threat if we can play this correctly. Trying to catch one Scorching Suns on my Flyer, but still they know better, and the Easter Bunny will throw the Fire Punch. Now it's my time to respond with a heavy hitting move. Okay, it's not a heavy hitting move, but instead a spammy move with that Aerial Aces. So they were having definitely a Fire Punch ready to go, that's why I went for the Aerial Ace, and right here we have a double foul play, which means that we need only one for this Diggersby and one last resort to almost secure the battle against this Medicham. So here comes the big boom, but first they need to throw their energy. Is this a dynamic punch? No, it is. The other punch will be, so that final snarl will pass through, and that will grab the final victory for my video today. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my content here on YouTube. With that said, I have 2 videos for you to check out, so feel free to do so, and I will see you all into the next one.